Hello, welcome to my channel. Today is a big question. How does a rocket go from the ground to space and how does it come back? Part 1. To the ground. There are lots of different ways to get into space. There's a cool animation called To the Ground that shows one way. It's the way most rockets use. But imagine you have a really long hallway, and at the end of the hallway there's a door. The rocket is outside the door and space is everything that S on the other side of that door. So what you need to do is open that door. The thing is, you can't just walk through the door. You need a key card to open it. In order to get that key card, you have to pass through several checkpoints. Each checkpoint represents something the rocket has to overcome in order to get to space. The first checkpoint is Earth's atmosphere. That's the blanket of gases that surrounds our planet. As long as a rocket is inside the atmosphere, it's not in space yet, but the atmosphere isn't very thick. So once the rocket gets above about 100 kilometers, it's basically empty space, all the way to space. So if your rocket can get past that first checkpoint, it's smooth sailing all the way out. The second checkpoint is Earth's gravity. Gravity pulls everything toward the center of the Earth. Anything that is untied down is eventually going to be pulled all the way down and end up splattered on the ground. The only way a rocket can escape this is to go fast enough to get away from Earth's gravity altogether. If the rocket reaches a speed of about 8 kilometers per second, then it'll never come back down. It'll keep going forever. Once the rocket gets past that second checkpoint, it doesn't really have any trouble getting through the rest. There's no air to slow it down, or gravity to pull it back. All it needs to do is keep going forward, and it'll eventually reach its destination. Part 2. Coming back. Now that you know how to get to space, let's figure out how to come back. Spoiler alert, it's kind of like the reverse of going there, but also kind of not. Let's imagine our rocket is coming back from a really far away place like the moon. On the way back, it has to pass through the same checkpoints on the way in. First, it has to deal with gravity. The only way for a rocket to come back down from space is to slow down. If it's going too fast, Earth's gravity will just pull it right back up into space. So in order to come down, it has to have some way to slow itself down. Rockets usually accomplish this by turning their engines on and firing them in the opposite direction they want to go. By slowing down, the rocket gets pulled toward the Earth. The further it falls, the faster it goes, which means it has to fire its engines even harder to keep from falling all the way back up. Eventually, the rocket slows down enough that Earth's gravity overpowers its engines and pulls it all the way down. Once the rocket's in the atmosphere, it has to deal with the second checkpoint, air resistance. If it's going too fast when it hits the atmosphere, the friction from the air will heat up the rocket and burn it all the way back up into space. So, just like with gravity, the rocket needs some way to slow itself down before it hits the atmosphere. Otherwise, it'll get burned up. Usually rockets deal with this by building themselves a heat shield to protect them from the heat. After that, it's pretty simple. The rocket just has to keep slowing down until it reaches the ground. Now you know how to get to space and come back. That's 1 minute. See you next time.